Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Follow the leader.
Oh my God.
Follow the leader. 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 Follow the leader.
Hey, so I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light. See the light.
Like this in my last video, and I wanted to go ahead and answer the best way I know how. I'm going to start off by saying that there's no secret sauce, no special formula to getting a man to say yes. He's either a provider or he's not. Very simple. I personally like to be on FaceTime or in person. I need to see you, you need to see me. I'm going to use a very basic example. Nails. I'm on FaceTime. Babe, I have a nail appointment tomorrow and I need some money. That's it. If you want to be really cute about it, baby, you love me, right? Oh, I have an appointment tomorrow for my nails and I need some money. One of two things is going to happen. He's going to say yes, how much do you need? Or he's going to say no, I don't got it, money's tight. Or my personal favorite, what am I getting in return? I get the automatic ick, he's blocked, never hear from him again. Because why am I going to waste my time with you? We all know we can pay for our own nails. It's principle. What if it really happens, like I get a flat tire? Or I get called into work and I need to pay a babysitter. I can't rely on you. So why am I allowing you to hold space in my life if you can't provide? All that fear, all that what will he think? Oh my God, I'm so shy. Girl, we are too grown for all that. Because when push comes to shove and real life comes through, can you call on him? Chest out, chin up, hand out. Period.
Wow. That is amazing. Andy, can you believe she was talking like that? Listen, man, if it wasn't for my younger, more street savvy niece, I promise you I wouldn't know anything about these topics. But apparently, this is what's happening out here in these streets. Now, let me just be clear. Let me just be very clear. Tonight's topic, it's an interesting topic because before today, I never heard of this topic. It's maybe I didn't know it had like a label. Now, I years ago I had Dr. John Gray. You guys remember John Gray from Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus fame. He's a clinical psychologist. He's a therapist. And he wrote this amazing book that was introduced to us by Oprah Winfrey. And of course, he went on to mega stardom because of that particular book. Now, I don't know if clinicians worldwide agree with his take. But what was interesting about what he presented back in the 90s was that men and women speak different languages. We have two totally different styles of communication. And he said men are Martians, women are Venetians. Now, if you know anything about astrology, Mars is the god of war, representing masculinity, or Aries, the god of war. So that was masculinity. And of course, Venus, Venetian, is the planet of love. So women speak with emotions, men speak with aggression and hostility, is what he was saying. And like I said, not every clinician that I know is a fan of, the way he explained, men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Not the clinicians that I know are like, maybe not, not so much. But I was just introduced to an entirely different concept that I had never heard before until now. And that concept is called womanese. Like Chinese, womanese. I thought that was quite interesting. And apparently, women know this language, know how to speak it, and oftentimes may speak it in a manipulative way against men. Use it in a manipulative way against men. Now, I'm very interested to hear from callers today just to see, if that is in fact the case. I want to know, do you guys have a secret language that you use to manipulate us into doing your bidding? I'm very interested to see if this is actually the truth. Because for me, just be nice. And I guess being nice is one of these manipulative tactics. Tonight's topic, the Book of Womanese, the secret, sacred language of feminine guile. We have subtopics, Broca's betrayal. Now, if you know anything about Broca's is this area of your brain that controls speech. So if someone had a stroke, oftentimes Broca's area is affected. Now, there's other areas that deal with speech as well that control your ability to understand or be able to speak, articulate. And then there's you might be able to understand but not be able to speak if you suffered a stroke. So Broca's betrayal, how narcissistic mothers hardwire daughters' brains for womanese manipulation. I want to know if there's a woman out there who is adroit at this particular skill. Question, does fMRI evidence of 0.3 seconds faster Broca's area activation in women raised by manipulative mothers prove womanese is a neurobiologically survival syntax? Here's the data. 72% of these women unconsciously mirror maternal speech patterns during conflict. This is Dr. Ramani's work in 2024. That's your, I'm citing Dr. Ramani there, right? Neuromanipulation, generational guile. The soft life scam, how womanese weaponizes ambiguity to avoid accountability. Question, do theta dominant EEG patterns, which vibrate at 8 hertz in soft life, advocates correlate with 34% less prefrontal cortex activity. Neurologic proof of strategic emotional evasion? What? Here's the data. 68% use phrases like do what you want to force mind reading gambits. That's UCLA 2023. Emotionally bypassing strategic ambiguity? Is this womanese? Let's just be honest. Have you engaged in strategic ambiguity? What about toxic syntax? How womanese replicates parentified children's trauma bonds in adult relationships. No. I'm not going to let you off the hook. I'll read it again. Toxic syntax. How womanese replicates parentified children's trauma bonds in adult relationships. Question. Can parentified children's, which is vibrating at 20 hertz here, beta wave emissions, right, which is Hawkins' shame correlate, during manipulation, explain why 79% struggle with direct communication as adults? John Hopkins, 2024. Here's your data. Their speech patterns show 22% more passive-aggressive qualifiers. Maybe, whatever. Listen, I want to know, are you using traumatic syntax? Parentified manipulation in the way that you speak. Now, this could be Manglish as well. Man English. This could be Manglish, right? I'm just interested. How womanese phrases like good vibes only feed AI-driven trauma bonds? Does Tinder's AI prioritize profiles using womanese's ambiguity, creating 82% matches with avoidant partners to sustain Skinnerian addiction? MIT. Now, Skinnerian is referring to Brian Skinner when he's talking about conditioning, right? That's MIT 2024. Looking for someone who gets me, right? Increases swipes, but decreases relationship longevity by 40%. Soul bait algorithm. Oh, not a soulmate, but a soul. You soul baiting? 1-800-920-1580. Get to your phone lines right now. I want to know, is womanese a real thing? Epigenetic gaslighting. How black mothers womanese methylates daughters' OXTR genes into compliance. Do black daughters of emotionally withholding mothers exhibit 18% fewer oxytocin receptors, biologically enforcing I'm fine as a default response? I'm fine. You hear it. Andy know he's hurt. Look at Andy's face. He's like, I done heard every one of these terms. Andy's sitting there like, Lord have mercy. Yes, that's Helms 2023. Here's your data on that. 76% report using humor. Girl, you know how they do to mask generational grief. That's woman. Listen, I didn't make it up. I'm asking. Have you used girl? You know how they do to mask your generational grief? Oh my God. Epigenetic betrayal. Womb gaslighting. Oh, the corporate hijacking, just a thought, and other womanese tropes enforce workplace submission. Does the phrase just a thought, but reduces a woman's perceived authority by 34% while increasing male approval? That's according to Stanford 2024, MRI scans show 0.5 seconds delayed Broca's activation when using self-diminishing qualifiers. Ladies, do you use womanese at work? Do you use self-diminishing qualifiers at work? Just so you could get the validation from the boss, but you're also making yourself smaller, or you're a co-creator of your dissatisfaction by using womanese? Yikes. Yee. Theta wave traps. How karmic womanese users develop spiritual apathy and relational sabotage. Do chronic speakers of womanese exhibit 8 hertz theta dominance linked to disassociation and 18% less insula connectivity, neurological markers of manipulative avoidance? NIH 2024. Here's the data. 65% deflect vulnerability through sarcastic compliment shivs. You're brave to wear that. Oh my goodness. Have you heard these terms? Ladies, call in and let me know if womanese is a real thing. And do you use it to get ahead at work or in your relationships? What about the I'm fine paradox? How I'm fine becomes a biophotonic distress signal in toxic relationships. Does uttering I'm fine trigger 528 hertz mitochondrial vibrations, DNA repair, while spiking cortisol 22% in partners? A biochemical double blind, which is APA 2024, that test shows us that this is affecting you in a negative way, right? I'm fine. Maybe you're not. 84% of partners report confusion, frustration when decoding the I'm fine phrase. My goodness. Listen, we got a lot to talk about on tonight's topic. I don't know if you're ready, and I don't know if you're going to be truthful and honest about it, but you know how the voice of reason does. If I'm not triggering you, I'm not doing my job. Let's get it.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
The revolution will not be televised.
What's up? It is Killer Mike, also known as Michael Render, and I'm encouraging you to listen to more, not less of Truth Time with Dr. Cornel West and Senator Nina Turner on KBLA Talk 1580.
Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-511-2112. That's 800-511-2112. 800-511-2112.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 is committed to self-care and community well-being. Walk Good LA was formed in June 2020, inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement and the beginning stages of the COVID-19 pandemic. What began as a few minutes of breath work and yoga meditation before protests against police brutality turned into a safe space for the community to heal in hard times. The immensely positive response from the community transformed the momentum into a movement. Today, Walk Good LA is a black and brown-led community wellness organization based in Los Angeles. They provide spaces for healing through community yoga classes, guided meditations, hikes, run clubs, and other activations throughout Los Angeles that attract hundreds of members weekly. With the help of Propel and Michael B. Jordan, they now have a yoga and wellness studio in Los Angeles called the Walk Good Yard. To join their mailing list and connect with healing spaces, please visit walkgoodla.org. That's walkgoodla.org. Or find them on Instagram at walkgoodla. This is a community call to action, a community call to healing from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Baby, I see you working hard, wanna let you know I'm proud, let you know that I admire what you do. Don't know if I need to reassure you, my life would be purposeless without you. If I want it, when I ask you, you inspire me to be better. You challenge me for the better. Sit back and let me pour out my love letter. Let me help you. Take off your shoes, untie your shoestrings, take off your cufflinks. What you wanna eat, boo? Let me feed you. Let me run your bath water, whatever you desire. I'll supply ya. Sing you a song, turn the game on. I'll brush your hair, help you put your do-rag on. Wanna put her up, want a manicure. Baby, I'm yours, I wanna cater to you, boy. Let me cater to you, cause baby, this is your day. Do anything for my man, baby, you know me away. I got your slippers, your dinner, your dessert, and so much more. Anything you want, let me cater to you. Inspire me from the heart, ain't nothing tear us apart. You're all I want in a man, I put my life in your hands. I got your slippers, your dinner, your dessert, and so much more. Anything you want, I wanna cater to you. Baby, I'm happy you're home, let me hold you in my arms. I just wanna take the stress away from you, making sure that I'm doing my part. Boy, is there something you need me to do? If you want it, say the word.
Most people, like I said, think that being feminine is just being agreeable, submissive in a way, being nice, and they think that that's the way that you're going to attract. Like if we get from the point of saying, oh, I thought that attracting a masculine man who wants to provide for me, like that's all luck, if I get lucky, if the man I love is going to be a provider, that's amazing. If not, that's fine. No, we aren't operating with that. We're not accepting less than. That's not going, like being agreeable is not going to get you a healthy masculine man. It may get you a man who is seeming like he's operating in his masculine energy and seeming like he's leading by actually being, or seeing this in you is that, oh, she's easy to control. She's easy to, she agrees with everything. She goes with the flow. She has no boundaries. No, that's not what we want. So holding the container of polarity within a relationship can be easier at first, especially if you're just learning feminine energy, if you're, applying this into your dating life or your relationships. At first, that's going to be the easiest time that you can hold that energy. But when you really get into the long-term relationships or past that phase of where that polarity and that magnetic energy is already natural, that's going to go so much further to be able to hold that container. And the only way that you're able to hold that container is not just by being agreeable, is not just by having that light feminine energy. It's by embracing the dark feminine, the shadow side. It's by embracing your desires. We're told that our desires are bad. I think as women, we're like, oh, you can't say that you want money. You can't say that you want someone to provide for you. You can't say that you desire to, have your own business and be a stay-at-home mom. That's apparently triggering to some people. And personally, I don't know why. I think it should be more talked about because everyone's allowed to have their unique desires. And so having that dark feminine is going to set those boundaries, set those expectations, allow you to raise your standards and not feel...
I think she's cooking. she's talking about women being more assertive about what they want. And I think this is the emergence of a new type of feminine communication. What we're talking about tonight, which is crazy, that's why I love that clip. And remember, I'm hearing these clips as you're hearing them. I think that's this generation, Andy's generation, and younger. I think they're like, nah, we not having that. You got to show up with A, B, C, D, E, E, F, G. I think womanese might be Big Mama and Auntie, and that's what they used to use. I remember, man, my aunt used to say all the time, I let him think he's in control. What language skill was she using to gaslight my Uncle Charles? Toxic families develop language surrounding family roles and codes of conduct that maintain relationship dynamics and hierarchy, benefiting both the most domineering and manipulative members. Similarly, women and men operate under a specific understanding and language that assigns underlying meaning to subtle nuances. This is evident in relationships with works in progress, right? Manipulation and control are crucial for survival in a toxic family dynamic. Whether it is to fulfill needs or gain dominance, we have often adopted these linguistic codes of deception and use them on our partners for the same reasons we developed them in childhood and employed them in our family dynamics. I've got questions. I want to know, are you code switching in your relationship? I know brothers who code switch. They don't talk a certain way when their woman is around. Is that respectful or is that manipulative? Is he being secretive? Is he keeping a side of himself away from you? And vice versa. What are some ways that oppression begets manipulation? Are we way more likely to take on manipulative characteristics when dealing with an oppressive situation, i.e. a toxic relationship? How might children born under narcissistic structures develop coping mechanisms from and justifications for the actions of manipulative parents that use children as pawns against one another? We're going to find out the language you're using in your relationships.
You fell in love with, I keep it tight, I keep my figure right, I'll keep my hair fixed, keep rocking the hottest outfit. When you come home late, tell me on my shoulder, I will over. Baby, I heard you, I'm here to serve you. This love you need, to give it is my joy. All I wanna do.
He's on fire tonight. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. A bill to ban DEI initiatives at Ohio public colleges is moving closer to becoming law. The House passed an amended version of Senate Bill 1. It bans diversity, equity, and inclusion practices and strikes by faculty members. New York's highest court has struck down non-citizen voting in the city, ruling it unconstitutional. The law signed by Black Mayor Eric Adams in 2022 allowed non-citizens to vote in municipal elections. A civic group is calling for Kansas City manager Brian Platt's removal after a jury ruled he suggested staff lie to the media. The Urban Council sent a letter to Black Mayor Quentin Lewis and the City Council urging his ouster. And President Trump plans to sign an executive order today to eliminate the Department of Education, returning control to states. NAACP President Derek Johnson calls it a dark day for students relying on federal support. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Join in on a historical day on March 28th when your world champion Dodgers receive their World Series rings in a special pregame ceremony. Be part of history and join the celebration as the Boys in Blue cement their legacy among the all-time Dodger greats. Visit Dodgers.com/tickets.
Follow the leader.
KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Follow the leader.
Oh my God. Follow the leader. 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 Follow the leader.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Imagine a Los Angeles where everyone can thrive, where communities have access to the resources they need to succeed. That's the vision of Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. They're dedicated to improving life in LA County by providing educational support, employment assistance, and spaces for community engagement. By 2050, they want LA to be the best place to connect, create, learn, live, and play. They're working toward an education system that's well-resourced and culturally responsive, becoming a hub for artists and innovators, and making sure everyone has access to healthy food, quality healthcare, and safe housing. It's about building a future where we all have the chance to succeed. We invite you to learn more about their mission and get involved with Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. Every girl deserves a chance to shine. That's the belief behind Forgiving for Living, Inc. Since 1999, this organization has been empowering at-risk girls ages 13 to 18, helping them overcome behavioral and mental health challenges. Founder Wendy Gladney's personal journey inspired the mission to give girls hope and purpose through the power of forgiveness. Through their ambassador program, workshops, and annual conference, Forgiving for Living has touched over 3,000 young lives, providing mentoring, life skills, training, and tools for building self-esteem and confidence. You can make a difference. Visit forgivingforliving.org to donate, volunteer, become a mentor, or find help for a young girl in need. Forgiving for Living, Inc., building brighter futures for young girls. Visit forgivingforliving.org today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Time is up. The IRS is in full collection mode for 2024, issuing liens, levies, and garnishments to anyone who has a past tax debt or unfiled tax returns. Don't wait till it's too late. Your paycheck and bank accounts are at risk of being seized. Call now and stop the collection process today. If you're living check to check, no matter how much you're making, you still may qualify for the Fresh Start programs offered by the IRS to reduce or even eliminate your tax debt. It's just a 5-minute call to get your options, and it's free. If you owe back taxes, have years of unfiled tax returns, under audit, have a wage or bank levy, or finally just want to sleep better, business or personal, call the experts at Republic Tax Relief while there's still time. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and tough. This veteran-owned company has the fight you need to take on the IRS. Don't go at it alone. The call is free. Call their hotline number now, 800-652-1714. That's 800-652-1714. Find out if you qualify today. Call 800-652-1714 or go to republictaxrelief.com.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
But before we jump in, let me briefly introduce myself in case you're new. My name is Tamara. I'm an internationally and board certified trauma therapist. I'm also licensed in mental health. I specialize in treating children, teens, and families, as well as adults, who are dealing with trauma. Let's go ahead and jump in. The use of threats, force, emotional abuse, dominance, gaslighting, stonewalling can all be weapons used against you in coercive control. I'm sure if you pause and think about it for a moment, you can identify somebody in your family that is just like this. They know how to push the buttons on you to trigger you to explode, to trigger you to say or do something that you know isn't right, to trigger you to behave in ways that is most likely going to be looked down upon. They know who you are. And it's not because they're wonderful and great and powerful. It's mainly because they are manipulative. Most of them are narcissists. Most of them are sociopaths, psychopaths. And, you know, there's some traumatic bonding that tends to be involved as well. You bond to a person in your family who is good for the majority of the time, but then sometimes very abusive. And so, you know, when you don't want to see the truth, or you're in denial, or it hurts too much to accept the truth, you kind of abandon that bad side of the person and you cling to the good side. That is practically traumatic bonding. It is also codependency in some ways, or, you know, dependence, emotional dependence. So these kind of individuals who are narcissistic, sociopathic, psychopathic, controlling, dominating, they utilize coercive control against you because they know the buttons that they can push on you to get you to, you know, want to cling to them even more and forget the bad stuff, right? They know how to buy your love. They know how to buy your affection. They also know how to manipulate you in ways that...
Oh my God. Just another example. And that's Dr. Tamara. She was on Complete Fire. Is it Tamara or Tamara? I want to make sure I say her name correctly. She was on Complete Fire. But that's another example of how toxic of a society we live in. She's explaining this as if this is normal. This is what happens because most people come from a traumatic situation from generations past up until now. So that leads me to the question. Is giving your child the game concerning the opposite sex considered a rite of passage? What are some parallels between parentified children and children who learn early how to manipulate others, whether directly or indirectly? Right? What are some connections between parentified children, CPTSD, and failure to launch syndrome? In what ways does consistent mental abuse impact one's ability to function in adult relationships that requires openness and trust and vulnerability? I'm laying these questions out, right, in a Socratic way, because I want you to think about it, but I also want you to understand that this is the framework for the topic. Meaning, womanese, manglish, man speak. We create these language profiles that we use to actually hide ourselves. We don't really want to be exposed. Again, most of us are trying to run away from the inner work that is necessary and required for us to grow up. So we develop certain ways of speaking. If you do any research on attachment theory and you look up the avoidant types, they have their own style of communication, and it's a very ambiguous style of communication when it pertains to, in context of intimate relationships and vulnerability. They got their own language. You'll be talking to them about anything other than us, and they're clear as a bell, concise, articulate, charming, factual, right? They're hitting you upside the head. You get to us, the words get murky. And I can't say that that's just womanese. I mean, this is a new term for me. I think men speak that way as well. How has the popularization of emotional dysregulation and spiritual lethargy, right, impacted modern dating? Spirituality requires you to do self-work, and self-work is not easy. All you got to do is have your come to Mises moment, and you go through the dark night of the soul, and you'll understand that spiritual work isn't easy. So we live in a society that says love's supposed to be easy, relationships supposed to be easy, relationships are soft, relationships, I don't want no mess, only good vibes around. That's spiritual bypassing, right? Are modern trends such as the soft life and passport bros a direct indicator that the generational annihilation and oppression against black families have been effective? I don't want no more drama. Well, relationship is where drama lives. Nobody's got to cheat for drama to be in that relationship. Trust me, 1-800-920-1580. True or false? Our egos seek to control our image because we have yet to understand and appreciate our own impact on the world. 1-800-920-1580. It's on fire now. It is on fire. When patriarchal systems suppress vocal agency, right, per Frieden, does womanese emerge as a quantum linguistic superposition both for survival and karmic recursion of Jung's wounded female archetype? This is heavy stuff. I know. We're in a patriarchal system right now. Can we argue that? And do these systems suppress the vocal agency of women to the point where they got to create a whole new kind of language to communicate amongst themselves, right? Both as a survival tool, but also, unbeknownst to them, a karmic recursion of Jung's wounded female archetype. In other words, they are speaking failure, death, right? They're speaking brokenness into their lives. This is heavy stuff, man. This is heavy stuff. Get to your phone lines, 1-800-920-1580. Listen, when I come forward, we're going to go right to the phone lines. Callers are coming in now. Let's get it.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
To the 100 million people who owe the IRS money, this message is for you. We've helped tens of thousands of people close the door on their tax debt. So if you feel like you're stuck in a hole with IRS tax debt, then this is the easiest way to get a resolution quickly. To qualify for a no-pay or low-pay resolution, visit taxclosure.org to get free from the IRS once and for all.
To keep your bank accounts, income, and assets secure, tax closure is your same-day cure.
The Eaton Canyon fire devastated many black families in Altadena, taking more than just homes. It took memories, legacies, and generational wealth. The heart of a black community is now in jeopardy, but Justice Coalition, led by Gage and King LA Lawyers for the People, are here to help. If you've lost your home, we are standing by to hold insurance companies and utilities accountable for the damage caused. When the community suffers, we all suffer. Together, we can rebuild what was lost. Your recovery starts today. Call 626-429-1259. That's 626-429-1259. Or visit www.eatonfirelawyers.net. Justice Coalition, Gage and King, LA Lawyers for the People. We got you. Call 626-429-1259. Visit www.eatonfirelawyers.net. Again, 626-429-1259. This is attorney advertising. Past results do not guarantee future outcomes. Legal representation is provided by licensed attorneys.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Autopsy Initiative provides a second autopsy free of charge for victims' families who have lost their loved ones due to a police-related death. The services offered through the initiative include the completion of a second autopsy, disclosure of preliminary findings, and a final autopsy report. A police-related death is when an individual is harmed by police officers using deadly force, which results in an individual's death. Police-related death includes in-custody deaths, including those that arise during contact with law enforcement officers during arrest, pursuit, booking, transport, or incarceration. The Autopsy Initiative has a team of board-certified pathologists on call. An autopsy request may be completed by anyone with a close relationship with the victim, which may include the victim's spouse, partner, relative, close friend, or lawyer. To request a free second autopsy for a victim of police violence, please visit knowyourrightscamp.com. That's knowyourrightscamp.com. Then click on Autopsy, then click on Request. At KBLA, we believe in justice for victims of police violence. We say their names, and we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
So if you see the person actually withdrawing from life, withdrawing from people, and becoming very, very self-centered in a sort of an isolated space, that is an indication of narcissism, that they're self-centered, but the covert narcissism is covered by the fact that they're withdrawing from the world. So why would they withdraw from the world and become self-centered? They think that they're amazing, they think that they're wonderful, they think that they're special, but largely speaking, they're struggling to convince the world that that's true. So when they get feedback from real people, and they're not just getting feedback from inside their head, it's creating multiple small narcissistic injuries, because largely people are going, actually, you're not particularly interesting. No, you're not very special. And they get negative feedback from the environment. They have a delusional view of themselves as all powerful, super sexy, super exciting, super interesting. Reality and truth are the enemy of the narcissist. They have to keep the reality and truth at bay in order to support the false self.
Whoa, that's heavy. We have a definition here for the word womanese. It's an adjective. And this is according to Urban Dictionary. Come on. All right. The mysterious language of the species of women, which men find extremely difficult to grasp. Its primary function is as an almost unexplainable code, only fully understood within their own circle. A form of female telepathy used to confound men. Involves giving impossibly subtle verbal cues which the man is expected to know before they are spoken. A method of communication that involves not saying something in order to communicate something. Any conversation with a circle of women or any word that does or does not come out of a woman's mouth. Listen, if a man wrote that, he's a moron. Because I think a lot of what is being described as womanese is men's basic unintelligence, lack of intelligence, right? I mean, listen to it. A lot of men don't like, let's just put it on the table. A lot of men don't like listening to women. And I'm not going to separate myself from my brothers. There was a time Let me tell you something. I've been in radio for almost 25 years now. Radio has done such a job on me because it has taught me to be a listener, right? A better listener. Before I did radio, I was like my brethren. I had little patience. You know, my mama could talk for a minute and then, okay, mama, I got it. Right? And then I met Dr. John Gray. And Dr. John Gray was like, hey, don't you realize if you learn to listen to women, right? Number one, you're going to strengthen your bond with women. When a man listens to a woman, she releases oxytocin, which is the bonding agent, right? Right? That's boom. You're going to be like, hey, she's going to be like, nobody's ever listened to me, right? Number two, if you listen without the compunction to try to fix her, right, or judge her, she's going to be drawn to you because this now she can like let this all out. Yes, women speak way more than men do, sure. But if men gave women a patient listening ear, you would start to learn how to discern what is being said. And it's not like, now I hear you, Truemonger. Truemonger said too much babbling. Intelligent women don't babble. Listen, brothers. This is what I'm saying. We can't be uneducated and then ding them. If you're educated in attachment theory and psychology, and you got a woman who's brilliant everywhere but relationships, do you see? You would then be able to go, oh, she's uncomfortable. She doesn't like vulnerability. She doesn't like talking about emotional things, right? Now it becomes part of your perception. You'll be able to see that in her. Every other conversation, she can talk about video games, she can talk about Marvel movies, she can talk, but when she get down to you and her or her family and what's been going on, and she starts babbling and becomes incoherent, that should be an indicator that she's uncomfortable speaking. So instead of creating a hood term, womanese, why not do a better job of listening without judgment? Maybe she wouldn't have to create an entirely new, right, linguistic syntax in order to communicate with her girls. Maybe she would want to communicate with you, and if the bond got stronger, just maybe, she might begin to speak more coherently to you about her feelings. Just maybe. Like, men don't like it when it's balanced. Men want to stand on womanese and babbling, and she don't know it. If you got a woman that's babbling all the time, she's not intelligent. About everything, babbling, just babbling. You know, Days of Our Lives, they had this, it's this actor, I follow him on Instagram. That's babbling. Right? To me, that's babbling. Like talking, small talk with just talking with no purpose, nothing to really say. That's babbling. But if she's babbling in a specific, or what we're terming as, calling babbling, in a specific area that pertains to vulnerability, emotionality, connectivity, then I think, and I'm not saying you got to read her mind, but I'm saying maybe if you got a little bit more patient in her process, she might feel safe enough to talk to you. Now, I'm not going back on what I said. You didn't make her safe. She had to get safe to be able to talk to you. But will she feel safe if you like, girl, what are you saying? Spit it out. You might push her further into her shell, right? The term womanese thrives in the ideological background of red pill discourse, where Donovan Sharp frames feminine communication as a type of manipulation. Yet fMRI studies reveal a more primal truth. Women raised under patriarchal systems exhibit 0.3% faster activation in their Broca's area of their brain, according to Dr. Romney in 2024, a neural adaptation forged not for deception, but for existential negotiation. On tonight's topic, we posit that womanese in the brain semantics immune response to systemic gaslighting pathologized by red pill rhetoric into a gendered smear campaign. I know brothers don't want to hear that. We have said, oh, she's trying to negotiate. But we have turned it into woman speak used for manipulation. Is she really trying to manipulate you? I would say if she's dismissive avoidant, maybe. If she's fearful avoidant who leans more avoidant than anxious, maybe. But that doesn't go for every woman. Sometimes when we get out here into the world, you know what happens? Our experience becomes the benchmark for our gospel that we want to go out and teach and proselytize to everybody else. That's your experience. That ain't the gospel truth. That's the gospel truth to you based on your experiences. But someone who had the same experience may have a totally different understanding of what they're going through based on what they've learned, what they've studied, and if there's a lack in what you've learned and studied, you might interpret it as some type of attack upon you. Listen, I said I was getting to the phone callers. I'm going to get to them on the other side, but we getting into it right now. Do you speak womanese? Were you raised by a narcissistic parent where you had to speak womanese or Manglish in order to survive? Let's talk about it.
My own little nasty world. Tonight, don't you wanna come with me? Do you think I'm a nasty girl?
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. A bill to ban DEI initiatives at Ohio public colleges is moving closer to becoming law. The House passed an amended version of Senate